Hello and welcome to the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. I'm your host today, Sergeant Dave Burston, Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police at the Indianapolis Post. Today we have a very special guest that I'd like to introduce, Jeff Feitz, who is the Director of Media Relations for the Indiana State Fair. Jeff, good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
And you've got a lot of things to tell us about, but before we get started into the fun stuff, hopefully our viewers are tuning in on this toward the end of July this month, or maybe the first couple of weeks, because if they're looking at this at the end of August, all they're going to see is everything they missed.
Yeah, but they'll be early for next year.
They'll be prepped for next year. Probably the best place to start is, when is the fair this year, Jeff?
It's August 7th through the 18th.
So it's starting earlier than normal, isn't it?
Well, it does. It's a nice cycle, and then in a couple of years we'll move it back again a week. But it's this year it's 2 days ahead because of leap year.
So leap year is to blame.
Now, these 2 days.
I've heard people ask before, they moved it back because it seems like schools start sooner and sooner each year, and a lot of the state fair is family oriented.
Yeah.
So we want to see families there. Does that play into it at all in the scheduling?
No, I believe it did initially, but anymore schools are beginning so early that there are some schools that actually are in progress during the state fair. And one of the things we're doing this year, we're working with various school districts, and so if you state fair, talk to their teachers. But group field trips. Yeah, so
okay.
It's really a neat idea because so many folks will say the fair, the Midway, why send them there? But as you mentioned, we're really primarily family oriented, but our mission's been youth education and cultural education. So when you go there, you may have a lot of fun and not realize that you're learning anything. but
it happened by accident.
It did. It just happened. I didn't get my degree that way, but but no, I'm serious. But you really do. You really soak up a lot as you're having fun, and so it's a perfect place to take kids.
Well, as youth, because I think hand in hand, whenever I think of state fair, I think of 4-H.
Oh yeah.
Because they play such a key involvement, and is it
FFA.
Young Farmer? Yeah.
And young farmers.
Young farmers.
Young farmers just a little bit older than the FFA.
So they're right. So.
But yeah, you're right. They're just an integral part of what we do out there.
Well, plant the seed for all of you. First day of school, suggest a field trip to the state fair. Who knows? It may go over good.
Yeah.
Come out for breakfast with the. Who sponsors the breakfast every morning? Is it the Dairy Association? They have the morning breakfast.
Okay, actually, we have breakfast for.
Right.
And there's a couple of places. Bartow's over in the Farm Bureau building always has a wonderful breakfast.
Okay.
One of my favorites is over at the Lamb Barn.
Ah.
Because you don't have lamb very often, and usually
True.
it's right now the price is very high, and they have a wonderful breakfast for about, at least last year was like 9 huge platter of eggs
nice
and sausage and again a lamb.
Sure.
It's so that's one of my favorite places.
So maybe this year, because the prices are higher, it might be $3.50. Who knows? You have to come out to.
Who knows?
Right? So. Now, it's starting the 7th, goes to the 18th. Let's do some general stuff for everybody to know.
Sure.
What's it
cost? Same as it's always been. If you hear this in time before the fair begins, you can go to a Revco or Union Federal or Kroger stores, Signature Inns in Indiana, or your Farm Bureau, and get $3 tickets. 5 and under are free. Or
5 and under are free.
Or even if you forget and go to the gate, it's only $5, which is bad these days, we think.
And that includes parking and everything.
Yeah, as long as parking available, you get there early. It's always fun to get there a little bit early in the morning. In fact, last year we were doing a shoot with one of the television personalities here in town, and 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, there was this family walking by, and he said, "Jeff, did you plan this?" No. But a lot of folks will come out early before anyone gets there so they can walk the fair just to get a feel for what's happening.
See where they want to go, what they want to visit.
And see how it wakes up.
Yes.
Speaking of which, there's something that's kind of neat this year. We call it the world's largest breakfast drive-through.
The world's largest breakfast drive-through.
Yeah.
Okay, now is this like a very long fast food restaurant?
Just about. What we're doing, we're working with FMS, which is a country station here in Indianapolis, but also with the beef producers and Beef Cattlemen Association, and the poultry producers, and then of course American Dairy Association's kicking in. But you come in off of Fall Creek. That's the Gate 6 entrance.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I think most people that have been to the fair before should be
They'll get
familiar
a
with
feel
it.
for which one that is.
Yeah.
But as you're coming down...
If you don't ask somebody, and they'll
Yeah,
tell
don't,
you.
just get in the lane and you'll end up into the fair. But we'll be rerouting part of those folks who want to come in, taking them down what we call Main Street there.
Right, the
And
main, that goes
the main
right-
drag, yeah.
Yes.
And for $2, you get a steak and egg burrito
Oh,
with
wow.
juice or milk or coffee, Maxwell House coffee. You get one of those choices, and the money goes to Riley's, the proceeds, after expenses and all.
Oh, for Riley Children's
yeah.
Hospital. It's going for a good cause,
It is.
too.
But what the neat aspect of it is, we see it all every day, and you do too, the officers, Captain Petrie and all the guys out there, see it every day waking up, but most of the commuters never have this chance. And it's kind of a neat, interesting atmosphere because the fair is kind of like an organism almost, and as it wakes up, it's really kind of unique. So this will be the first time in history.
Well, it's like a little city within itself.
It really is.
As it comes
It
for
really
that
is.
10-day period. Now, what are some of the, that sounds like one fun special event. Maybe I'll be out there every morning myself having breakfast. What are other special things that'll be happening?
Well, once again, the drive-through is just one day. Several other things. We're kind of excited this year. We have, top line country entertainment. We have Vince Gill back, who had a tremendous show last year. I don't know if you had heard about his show. I went something like 2 hours.
I didn't go last year. I heard it went non-stop, though.
He went non-stop, and there was this huge thunderstorm coming in, and we kept sending up to the stage, "You gotta wrap it up. There's a thunderstorm coming."
Lightning, thunder.
And he kept sending back, "Just one more song, just one more and I'll be done." And then, "No, we're really serious. Thunderstorm warning," like it's a couple away. And so, he's just one more song. So he really gives the folks their money's worth. He's really a dynamic performer. Alan Jackson's back. He's, especially for a lot of the women, I'm told, fills blue jeans well.
Oh,
whatever that means,
whatever
I don't
that
know.
means to the women, to the guys.
But they tell me they like his.
Side note, right?
Side note, yeah. So he's back, and George Strait, who is really hot this year, tremendously hot. And so if you're hearing this right now, if you have interest in tickets, you might want to call rather quickly, because
those tickets all have to be purchased in advance.
Well,
is that
if
correct?
there are any for walk-up, but
Okay.
like for instance, George Strait is really tight sales. Alan Jackson's going very well, and Vince Gill is too. So your best bet is to call in like to Ticketmaster, or if you get to the fairgrounds, the
Now,
box office. Yeah.
If somebody's, our program's airing toward the end of July, if somebody's seeing it for the first time at the end of July, it's not August yet, will tickets still be available? Or have
You
they
never
gone
know.
on sale yet?
They're on sale.
They're on sale
The best thing
now.
to do is call and say, "What do you have available?" You'll get better tickets that way.
Okay.
But that also includes admission into the state fair when you buy those, the gate tickets itself.
Okay.
Performance.
Okay, so that's something that our viewers should keep in mind.
Oh, yeah.
That if they haven't already done so, and now that we've brought it up and charged everybody up about it, hopefully they're not going to call and say, "Oh, sorry, that's sold out." So if you're hearing about it, you want to go to any of those programs, they
Check
need
it
to call
out.
now.
Yeah.
So-
We also have the free stage. We have several free stages, but if you're a country musician, again, WFMS brings in some of the up-and-coming names. A couple of years ago, we had Billy Ray Cyrus on
Right,
a free
I remember,
stage.
yes.
We just have to hit it just right.
you
And,
timed it right, because these shows are planned how far in advance?
months in
Sometimes
advance.
up to a year, aren't they?
The free stage, I think they begin working probably around the first of the year. They start making the contacts with the records companies. See, FMS really wants to make sure that they're going to have the hot talent. And, by about 4 or 5 months out, I think they pretty much can tell. Or somehow they can tell. I can never tell.
They have the crystal ball at
Yeah,
WFMS.
they'll say these names, I'll say,
Who is-
"Huh?" And by the time the fair's here, they're really hot names.
And you're glad you listened to them.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you look good.
It's their business, yeah. I figured,
Jeff, do you say,
Yeah.
yeah, I planned it all this way?
sure, yeah. I
Now,
gave them inspiration, yeah.
who else is going to, let's go down the list right in a row again.
Okay.
Who are those groups and bands again?
Okay, well, again, the country main stage acts, we have Vince Gill, and then we have Alan Jackson and George Strait. But we also have this year something a little different. We've been trying to diversify country music, because we have a lot of our fairgoers who are big country fans. But we always hear, you know, why don't you have something else? So we're trying something a little different, and you and I won't know these names, but anybody under the age of 25 will go when they hear this. But Goo Goo Dolls, Gin Blossoms, both groups will be on the stage on the Monday.
Now, which Monday is this?
That's the only Monday we have.
The only Monday.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
well,
It's the
12
only
days.
Monday.
No, that's okay. We do that too. We have pre-fair, and it seems like we have 2
what
weeks.
is that, like the 12th?
Yeah, let's see. We begin on the 7th, so it would be the 12th. Yeah.
Okay. I took pretty good. I didn't
Yeah,
even
it's
have
good.
I did not have a calendar in front of me.
Amazing.
Okay. Yes, I'm working on it. So,
But yeah, it's the 12th, and it's really, they're hot groups. They're officially alternative bands.
okay, alternative.
We're not going to have anyone who's not clean, okay? And if we do, we'll beat them up after the performance and, you know, send them on their way. But no, they're really clean bands, and they're not very hard either. I've heard them a couple of times on the radio as I'm going around, and they're really quite mild as far as their sound goes.
Well,
And it's, you know, very lyrical and
so trying to
guitar-based.
get basically a kind of a broad brush. There's a little bit of something for
A little bit
everybody.
of, yeah,
So
exactly.
good.
And on our other stage, we have another stage called the Deal With It Main Street. Deal With It is the Governor's Commission for Drug-Free
Right.
Indiana. I don't know if,
The Deal With It campaign.
right,
I'm
Deal With
familiar
It
yes.
campaign, which I don't know if our folks out there in the audience had heard about it, but it's
talk about it a little
deals
bit,
with the
Sally.
various drug issues. Our next big focus will be on crack cocaine, which is a tough issue. But it's a group of departmental communications folks getting together called the In-Team and trying to develop an awareness of the drug problem here in the state of Indiana, because so often we think that it only exists in Chicago and New York. And but anyway, the Deal With It campaign is on stage to get visibility for their campaign on the main street. It's between the grandstand and the communications building.
I see.
Over there. And no, actually, the grandstand and the Kroger Lincoln Theater. We have so much going on, I have to
There's a lot.
physically remember where we have
Where
things.
are we now? Okay.
But on that stage, we'll be having a bunch of things, but a lot of different music groups. Again, on that Monday, we'll have other alternative groups like regional bands. We'll have blues one day, gospel one day, contemporary Christian one day. Just a wide
Cover all the
variety.
bases.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Jeff, we need to take a break, so what I'd like to ask is, I hope you're enjoying the program so far. Stay tuned and watch this message. We're going to be right back, and we'll be talking some more about this year's Indiana State Fair.
So, your name's John, right?
Yeah,
And you said you still smoke pot once in a while? You remember the first time you tried it?
pretty much.
How old were you?
12.
You ever move on to anything harder, like coke or acid or
Nah,
anything?
man, nothing like that. Not till I was 14.
Can you find the drug pusher in this picture? It's hard to believe kids this young are at risk because someone their age may be offering them drugs. Someone they think is their friend. Talk to your kids about drugs. Tell them that anyone who offers them drugs is not a friend.
For years, you've driven on Indiana's highways. For years, you've seen the familiar sight of an Indiana State Police car parked in the median. For years, you've slowed down upon seeing this familiar sight. Now you'll be getting familiar with this sight. The new Indiana State Police Camaros are out to keep Indiana's highways safe. Don't meet the newest member of the Indiana State Police family. Be smart. Obey posted speed limits.
What a day for love. Love, love. It's a day for love. Love, love. What a day for love. It's a lovely day.
Not the 60s. In a world this dangerous, there's no such thing as a harmless drug. Talk to your kids about marijuana.
And here comes Chris Hill, 4'6" out of Jefferson Elementary, a confident young man with a great stride. But, he might be in trouble.
Hey, Chris. Want to get high? No way, man. That stuff's for losers.
Oh, what a move! Chris Hill never hesitates, just blows past that guy. Bob?
You're right, Mike. Look, Chris is known for his great head shake. Then he shifts his weight to the right foot, finds a hole, and zip, he's out of there.
Spectacular, just spectacular. This kid's got a bright future.
Hello and welcome back to the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. Hope you enjoyed those last couple of messages, and if you're just tuning in with us, we've been talking about the Indiana State Fair, which is coming up August 7th through the 18th. Our guest is Jeff Feitz, Media Relations for the Indiana State Fair, and Jeff, again, it's great having you on the program. Now, we've just been finished talking about all of the different type of entertainment things that are going to be going on, and during the break, you were telling me something that I think anybody that's a Wheel of Fortune fan is going to be excited about hearing this. Now, what's happening with the Wheel of Fortune?
Well, the Wheel of Fortune, of course, is successful television shows in history. And they have one that goes on the road called Wheel of Fortune Live, and it doesn't have Pat Sajak and Vanna White, but it has Bob Eubanks.
And I think everybody knows who Bob Eubanks
especially
is.
the divorce lawyers from the Newlywed Game. Well, I wonder how many he caused.
Themselves now.
Yeah, you're right.
So some people are, if they're under 30, they may not remember the Newlywed Game.
But what's going to be neat is, well, we'll have this show, and once again, you can buy advance sale tickets, or you probably can buy those maybe at the gate even, possibly. But some of the contestants will be chosen from the audience out there in the grandstand.
Oh, right on. So people that maybe didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah, you could go to the State Fair for a corn dog and end up with a trip to anywhere in the continental U.S. You never know.
Or maybe a couple bucks in your pocket,
Or a couple bucks, yeah.
Good
They'll
deal.
have some really neat prizes, but it'll be just like the show, and it be absolutely crazy.
Now, are some of the sayings and phrases? I'm probably asking you a question you don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and ask. Are the sayings and phrases going to be related to Indiana, or is it going to be related to the fair?
I don't know. Probably not. Probably it'll be such that no one will be able to have any head start on thoughts.
Got to keep a level playing board for everybody. So that's good.
But it should be really wonderful.
Now, what day is that? Just happening a specific day?
That'll be happening one specific day. And that'll be ATA Day, which is, on top of my head, and I write the program, I should remember every single line here. I believe that's on the Thursday.
Thursday? So
I'll tell you what, the
like
best...
15th, 16th, sometime around
Something
there.
like that. The best, easiest way to do this, and this is something they'll want to do anyway.
Just come to the fair every day.
Well, hey, I like that. But, no, I mean, actually, if you're seeing this before the fair begins, if you go to the Revcos or the Krogers and all, pick up a free program. We have the pre-fair programs, which are out right now, and take a look at it.
Have the whole schedule of events day by day, what's going on. You'll be able to see the days that you want to come out.
Right. And we haven't really scratched, nor can we scratch the surface on everything that happens. So best thing is to grab a program, take a look at it day by day, figure out what days, and I mean, I say days because you really, if you can, come more than one day, 'cause there's so much to see and do.
Let's talk about a little bit about some of the more traditional things that people think of with the State Fair, and of course that's all of the different animals that are there. What are some of the different displays that are going to be there that you're used to seeing?
Well, of course, in the swine barn, we always have the little piglets. We always have a contest, you know, between mother sow and her piglets, and they're so cute. I think everyone loves to see them.
Now, what is their contest? Some of our people may not have been there before.
Well, you know, we always have a sow with newborn piglets, and there's always a contest to determine which are the best litter, pick of the litter, so to speak.
Who looks best. Okay.
Yeah, and so they're always on display, and they're just wonderful. Kids in particular, especially city kids who haven't really had a chance to be around farm animals, love to see them, and those of us who've grown up in the country still love to see them.
Yes.
And the world's largest boar.
We're not talking about either you or me.
No.
Okay. We're talking about boar.
Although I probably qualify in that contest. Now, these are like, you know, tremendously large boars.
I mean, they weigh, I can't remember what the one last year weighed. But wasn't there 2 or 3 years in a row it was the same one?
Spot Stallone be winning this year. I believe he may have gone to hog heaven.
Did he meet his maker?
I think so. But nevertheless, it really is. It's
we'll have a
it's
new
about 600 pounds.
Champion.
Yeah, new reigning champion here. But I believe Innovative Technologies is sponsoring that, I believe, this year. You know, you go to the sheep barn, you can see the sheep being sheared. the cattle barn. You can see the milking parlor there. The draft horse barn. Draft horses are wonderful. And you know, one of the neat things about this, a lot of people going to the barns, you know, they're not wanting to ask questions, you know. Usually the exhibitors love for folks to say, now what makes this a Percheron horse and what's making it a Clydesdale? They love to tell you.
Well,
And if
they're proud. They're
they're proud of
what
it.
they do.
And if they own Percherons, they'll tell you why the Percheron's better than the Clydesdale. And then you walk over and the Clydesdale owner will tell you why the Clydesdale is better than the Percheron.
Do you think they have a biased point of
Oh,
view?
maybe.
No.
But, you know, there's so much like that. We have mules and donkeys. There's a versatility contest, which is wonderful. Mules and donkeys are actually pretty smart. I'm told they're generally smarter than horses. No offense to horse owners out there. But, you know, donkeys and mules will not maybe go over certain things because they know better. And if a human's telling them to go cross something that's not very natural to do, they'll say,
I'll just stand.
yeah, that's why they're so stubborn. But they're also very bright. And likewise with the Jack and Jennies, you know, the jackasses and the Jennies. They're tremendously bright. So if you catch a versatility contest, we also have the llamas, which are always fun. Toward the end of the fair, we have like a llama Olympics where they're doing all kinds of fun things for contest.
Now, is there something else, I thought you mentioned during the break, something else happening with some horses or some special event?
There's a couple of things over near the Nabisco Family Fun Park, which is a wonderful area for kids, interactive arts and such. But over there's Conseco Horse Expo, which every year have demonstrations talking about the different horses, the care for the horses, what's the difference between a quarter horse and an Arabian horse, why is a standardbred horse instead of a thoroughbred horse, what's the difference? They'll explain these things.
So all the finer points.
Oh yeah, and then if you really like standardbred racing, which is kind of a traditional state, that's the harness racing. We have barn tours of the speed barns, and then also they'll tell you about owning a horse. You know, if you had an interest in
So they're going to tell
racing.
you everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, they're in the business of raising the horses. They'll probably stay with the good stuff. No, it's a fascinating industry, and it's an opportunity to see it. And, you know, most of our fare is free.
I think every parent's nightmare, though, after doing that is having their little boy or little girl come on, Mommy, Daddy, I want a pony.
I want a $100,000 horse. Yeah.
We also have the traditional crafts things that are going on. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, you know, crafts are a big item for us at the Pioneer Village, of course, which is over near the Nabisco Family Fun Park. Again, like there's a huge map in the middle of this program. You'll find
because primarily now the building is escaping me. Where most of the crafts are shown.
Well, you're probably thinking of the Archway Home and Family Arts building.
Okay.
It has photography, it has crafts, it has the pies and the cakes and the cookies.
Who can forget
Oh yeah, and they have some really wonderful wood sculptures. They have regular sculptures, wood carvings, which are wonderful.
Because they also have I know in the past they've had the hay balers with the old farm equipment.
Right, that's Pioneer Village, and that's on the other side near the Nabisco Family Fun Park. And again, they have kind of a walkthrough tour this year that you can kind of walk through, and they'll have people standing around telling you.
It's kind of like you're going through an early 1900s.
Early 1900s or 1930s. They have a little kitchen area that probably was like, you know, your mom and dad grew up in, you know, or...
Oh, yeah, now you may be dating yourself. But
I probably am. So. I'm probably... But, I mean, it really is. It's a good old-fashioned country kitchen. Have like you know, suppers at night and that sort of thing. They also have an area they're building right now out at the fairgrounds, kind of like a little house that you can see what's happening, and a woman will be out canning and making jelly and jams and that sort of thing.
Okay, that's what Grandma did.
Yeah.
Okay, now what Grandma did. So they've got all traditional things to look forward to that we think of the fair, the animals, the crafts, and again, the 4-H'ers, the youth that are involved, our future farmers, because we've got to farming is a livelihood for everybody in this country, whether they realize it or not. But I understand now there's one big event that we've held off about here for the end of the program, and it involves somebody that it's his brother or his son? His son. And how many people remember Evel Knievel? And now we're really dating ourselves. Tell us about Evel Knievel's son, Robbie, right?
Robbie Knievel, Captain Robbie. Robert Knievel was Evel Knievel's son, of course. Evel Knievel was the guy who tried to jump the Snake River Canyon and anything that was standing still and some things that weren't. Robbie's taken up in his father's footsteps, so to speak, or his tire tracks anyway.
His tire tracks.
But he'll be jumping about 150 feet, and we're trying to determine what in the dickens we're going to put underneath. We're trying to be kind of creative with that.
Wheel of Fortune.
There you go, over the wheel.
Right over it.
Over Vanna White. No. But it should be really fascinating. The guy is very positive, too. He has a very positive anti-drug message. So we'll probably maybe having him talk a little about that and, you know, say, hey, you know, this guy's cool and he doesn't do drugs, that sort of thing.
Do you know off the top of your head, or do we need the program?
Oh, no.
When that is?
That's Saturday.
That's Saturday.
The last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
It's on motorcycle race day. We have the AMA Professional Motorcycle Dirt Track. Oh, fast, furious, and exciting. Have you ever seen that?
Not.
Oh, you need to.
Not.
It's really incredible. But that's the same day. And Robbie's jump, I think, is in the afternoon, maybe about 4. And that's Eckridge presents that. Thanks to the folks that make the hot dogs, we bring in Robbie.
Gotta have everybody sponsored.
That's right. We
And
really
then
do.
along with that, so that's going. He's just going to do that.
Right, but there's like, oh, he builds up. He's really a showman, so he'll be building it up, going up and down the streets and doing little things. And so, I mean, it really is a huge show in itself. But and then I think you were supposed to make the second jump, weren't you?
Gee, I don't think that's in the program.
Oh, it can be.
It's no, they've already been putting us in on there. So, well, it sounds like a whole lot of neat and fun things are going to be happening. Jeff, I want to thank you so much for being part of the program.
I wouldn't want to say you look so different in person. He mentioned that I was on the David Letterman show, and he's much better looking in person than he is on television, but I thought I had to go to New York.
Oh, that's, well, you know, the David, they just screwed up the last name, that's all.
Oh, okay.
So, Letterman, Burston, you know, I hope I don't get sued now. But we want to thank you again for watching this month's edition of the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. And since we know most of you are going to be driving your car out to the state fair, and you know if you've watched the program before, we always talk about seat belts. Please buckle up going to the state fair, going or coming, wherever you're going. The life you save may be your own or that of somebody you love. Till next time, drive carefully and have a great time at the fair. Bye-bye.
Thank you.